Welcome to Fiction Flux. Today, we're diving into an exciting new fanfiction that explores an intriguing, what-if, scenario. What if Female Deku fell in love with the brilliant inventor Mei Hatsume? It's a story filled with innovation, heart, and plenty of emotional twists. So, grab your gear and settle in, let's not waste any time and get started. The UA dormitories were quiet, the usual bustle of students replaced by the soothing silence of the evening. Izumi Midoriya, known to her classmates as Deku, sat on her bed with her notebook open, scribbling furiously. Her emerald eyes sparkled with passion as she detailed her observations on Mei Hatsume's latest gadgets. Ever since their first encounter at the sports festival, Mei had left an indelible impression on her, not just as a brilliant inventor but as someone who radiated unwavering confidence in her unique way. Izumi had always admired passionate people, and Mei was the epitome of passion. Whether she was enthusiastically presenting her latest invention or testing out something dangerous without a second thought, Mei's energy was infectious. But lately, Izumi had noticed something different. Her admiration for Mei had shifted into something more. She couldn't stop thinking about Mei's vibrant pink hair, her mischievous smile, or the way her goggles made her look like she belonged in an epic sci-fi adventure. "Am I in love with her?" Izumi whispered to herself, her cheeks turning crimson. The realization made her heart race, but it also terrified her. What if Mei didn't feel the same? What if this ruined their friendship? The next day, Izumi couldn't concentrate in class. Every time Mei's voice echoed in her mind, she felt her face heat up. Determined to clear her thoughts, she decided to visit Mei in the support department after school. Maybe seeing her would help sort things out. As Izumi approached the workshop, the familiar sounds of drills and explosions greeted her. She took a deep breath and stepped inside, only to be immediately engulfed by a cloud of smoke. "Ah, Midoriya, you're here at the perfect time." Mei's voice rang out cheerfully. When the smoke cleared, Mei stood there with a wide grin, her goggles pushed up on her forehead. She was holding what looked like a pair of rocket-propelled boots. "I just finished these beauties. Want to test them out?" Izumi laughed nervously, her heart pounding. Sure, Hatsume-san. But I actually came to talk to you about something." Mei tilted her head, curiosity sparkling in her golden eyes. "What's up? Is it about one of my babies? Did you think of a way to improve it?" Izumi hesitated, her hands clutching her notebook tightly. "No, it's about you. She paused, gathering her courage. "I really admire you, Hatsume-san. Your creativity, your drive, everything about you is amazing." Mei blinked, clearly surprised. Then she smiled. "Thanks, Midoriya. That means a lot coming from you. But why do you look so nervous? Is there more?" Izumi swallowed hard. I think I might like you. Really like you." For a moment, there was silence, broken only by the hum of machinery in the background. Mei stared at her, her expression unreadable. Then, to Izumi's shock, Mei burst into laughter, not mocking, but warm and genuine. "Midoriya, you're adorable," Mei said, stepping closer. "You like me. That's awesome. But you should have told me sooner. I've been wanting to ask you to help me with some projects outside of class. You're one of the only people who gets as excited about this stuff as I do." Izumi blinked. "Wait, does that mean you feel the same?" Mei grinned, placing a hand on Izumi's shoulder. "I don't know much about love, but I do know I like you. You're smart, kind, and you always push yourself to do better. I think we'd make a great team, in life and in work." Izumi's heart soared. "Really? You mean it?" "Of course," Mei said, grabbing Izumi's hand. "Now come on, I want to show you something I've been working on. If we're going to be partners, you need to see my best stuff." From that moment, their bond deepened. Izumi and Mei became inseparable, their connection built on mutual respect and shared passions. Together, they created groundbreaking technology and faced every challenge hand in hand, proving that love could spark the brightest innovations. Weeks passed, and Izumi and Mei's relationship began to flourish. At first, their time together was spent mostly in Mei's workshop, where the two collaborated on new gadgets. But as they grew closer, their conversations drifted beyond their shared love of innovation. Izumi found herself opening up about her struggles, her self-doubt, her fear of failure, and the immense pressure she felt as All Might's successor. Mei, in turn, revealed a side of herself that few people ever saw, the loneliness that came with her relentless pursuit of perfection. One night, after a particularly intense training session, Izumi returned to Mei's workshop. She looked exhausted, her hero costume torn in several places. Mei glanced up from her workbench, concern flashing across her face. "Midoriya, what happened? You look like you got hit by a truck," Mei exclaimed, setting down her tools and rushing over. Izumi gave a weak smile. "It's just training. I pushed myself a little too hard today." Mei frowned, placing her hands on her hips. "A little. You look like you're about to collapse. Sit down, right now." She guided Izumi to a chair, her touch surprisingly gentle. As Izumi sat, her shoulders slumped, she let out a shaky breath. "Hatsume-san, do you ever feel like you're not good enough? Like no matter how hard you try, it's never enough?" Mei knelt in front of her, her golden eyes locking onto Izumi's emerald ones. "What are you talking about? You're one of the most amazing people I've ever met. You're strong, smart, and you never give up. If that's not enough, then the world's expectations are way too high." Izumi's eyes welled up with tears. "But I'm supposed to be the next symbol of peace. Everyone's counting on me to succeed, and sometimes I feel like I'm going to let them all down." Mei's expression softened. Without a word, she reached up and cupped Izumi's face, brushing away a tear with her thumb. "Listen to me, Midoriya. You're not alone in this. You have friends, teachers, and me. You don't have to carry this weight by yourself. And if anyone dares to doubt you, I'll invent something to shut them up." That last comment earned a watery laugh from Izumi. "Thanks, Hatsume-san. You always know how to make me feel better." Mei grinned. "Of course I do. And by the way, you can call me Mei. We're partners, remember?" Izumi's cheeks flushed, but she nodded. "Okay, Mei. .. Over the next few months, Izumi and Mei's relationship deepened. They spent their days balancing schoolwork and hero training with late nights in the workshop, where they worked on gadgets designed to enhance Izumi's abilities. One of their biggest projects was a support glove that could channel and control Izumi's one-for-all power more effectively. But their partnership wasn't without its challenges. One evening, after hours of failed attempts to perfect the glove, Mei suddenly slammed her hands on the table, startling Izumi. "This is so frustrating," Mei shouted, her usual cheerful demeanor replaced by rare anger. "Why can't I figure this out? I'm supposed to be a genius, but I can't even get this stupid glove to work." Izumi hesitated before placing a hand on Mei's shoulder. "Mei, it's okay. We'll figure it out together. You don't have to do everything on your own." Mei turned to her, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. "But I want to. I want to help you, Midoriya. I want to make something that will keep you safe, so you don't have to come back from training looking like you've been through a war." Izumi's heart ached at Mei's words. She pulled the other girl into a tight hug, holding her close. "Mei, you already do so much for me. Just having you by my side makes me feel stronger. You don't have to be perfect, you're amazing just the way you are." Mei froze for a moment before melting into the embrace, burying her face in Izumi's shoulder. "You're too good to me, you know that." Izumi smiled softly. "Maybe. But you're worth it. .. Their relationship hit a turning point one quiet evening under the stars. Mei had insisted on testing one of her jetpack prototypes in the open field behind the dorms, dragging Izumi along to watch. The test, as expected, ended in a spectacular explosion, leaving Mei covered in soot and laughing uncontrollably. "You're crazy," Izumi said, shaking her head with a fond smile as Mei plopped down on the grass beside her. "Crazy smart," Mei corrected, flashing a grin. But thanks for sticking around. Most people would have run for cover. Izumi looked up at the sky, her expression thoughtful. I'd stick by you no matter what. You mean a lot to me, Mei. Mei turned to her, her grin softening into something more sincere. You mean a lot to me too, Midoriya. More than I think I realized. Before Izumi could respond, Mei leaned in and kissed her, a quick, impulsive kiss that left both girls blushing furiously. Mei pulled back, her goggles slipping awkwardly down her forehead. Sorry, I didn't. Izumi cut her off with a kiss of her own, this one longer and more certain. When they finally pulled apart, Mei was grinning like she'd just invented the greatest gadget in the world. I think we're going to make a great team, she said, her voice breathless but filled with joy. Izumi laughed, her heart lighter than it had been in years. Yeah, we already are. From that night on, their relationship became a source of strength for both of them. Together, they faced every challenge, proving that love, like innovation, could create something truly extraordinary. The days following their kiss brought a mix of joy and uncertainty. Izumi and Mei were officially a couple now, but they both found themselves navigating unfamiliar territory. For Mei, who had spent most of her life focused solely on her inventions, understanding her emotions was as challenging as perfecting her latest gadget. For Izumi, balancing her hero training, academics, and her feelings for Mei felt like walking a tightrope. One evening, as Izumi studied in her dorm, she heard a knock at the door. When she opened it, Mei stood there, holding a small, oddly shaped box in her hands. Mei, what's this? Izumi asked, tilting her head in curiosity. Mei grinned, thrusting the box toward her. Open it. It's a gift. Izumi carefully unwrapped the box, revealing a pair of sleek, fingerless gloves. The fabric shimmered faintly in the light, and small wires ran along the seams. Izumi's eyes widened in awe. They're a new version of the support gloves, Mei explained, her voice filled with pride. I used a special alloy to make them stronger but lighter, and they'll help you regulate your one-for-all output even better. I've been working on them for weeks. Izumi stared at the gloves, her heart swelling with gratitude. Mei, this is incredible. Thank you. Mei rubbed the back of her neck, her cheeks tinged pink. Well, I couldn't let my girlfriend run around breaking her arms all the time, could I? Izumi's face turned as red as her hero costume. Girlfriend, you really mean that? Mei smirked, leaning against the doorframe. Of course, I mean it. You didn't think I kissed you under the stars just for fun, did you? We're a team now, Midoriya, in work, in life, and in love. Izumi's heart raced. Hearing the word, girlfriend, from Mei felt like a dream, but it was real. Mei was hers, and she was Mei's. She smiled shyly, her voice soft. I like the sound of that. Mei's smirk softened into a genuine smile. Good, because I'm not letting you back out now. She stepped closer, gently taking Izumi's hands and slipping the gloves onto them. Try them on. Let me know how they feel. Izumi flexed her fingers, marveling at how the gloves felt like an extension of her own skin. She clenched her fist, feeling the subtle hum of the mechanisms within. They're perfect, Mei. You've outdone yourself again. Duh, Mei replied, her usual confidence back in full force. But don't just stand there admiring them, let's test them out. Come on. She grabbed Izumi's hand, dragging her down the hall and out into the training grounds before Izumi could protest. The test of trust. Under the moonlight, Izumi stood in the middle of the field, her hands raised as she prepared to unleash a burst of one for all. Mei stood a safe distance away, goggles firmly in place, holding a remote control that linked to the gloves. Okay, Midoriya, I've set the gloves to stabilize up to 20% of your power. Go ahead and try a focused Delaware smash. Mei called out. Izumi nodded, taking a deep breath. She focused her energy, feeling the familiar surge of power coursing through her. Delaware, smash. She flicked her fingers, releasing a concentrated blast of air. The gloves glowed faintly, absorbing and redistributing the energy, ensuring the force was controlled and precise. The impact tore through the field, leaving a small crater but none of the usual recoil pain in Izumi's arm. She stared at her hands in amazement. It worked. Mei, it actually worked. Mei whooped, running over to inspect the gloves. Of course it worked. Did you think I'd make something that wouldn't? But more importantly, how do you feel? Izumi clenched her fists again, a bright smile spreading across her face. I feel great. No pain, no strain. Mei, you're incredible. Mei puffed out her chest proudly. Don't forget it. With these babies, you'll be unstoppable. Izumi looked at Mei, her heart swelling with gratitude and something deeper. It's not just the gloves, Mei. It's you. You've given me more than just tools to fight. You've given me someone to believe in, someone who believes in me. I don't know how I got so lucky to have you. Mei blinked, clearly caught off guard by the sincerity in Izumi's words. She fidgeted with her goggles, a rare moment of vulnerability showing through. Midoriya, I don't know how to do all that emotional stuff you're so good at. But I know one thing, I'll always be here for you. Whether it's fixing your gear or just being with you. Izumi's eyes softened, tears prickling at the corners. That's more than enough, Mei. Thank you. They stood there for a moment, the silence filled with unspoken promises. Then Mei, never one to stay still for long, grinned mischievously. All right, enough of the mushy stuff. Let's push those gloves to their limits. I want to see what they can really do. Izumi laughed, wiping her eyes. Okay, but don't say I didn't warn you if I break them. Challenges ahead. As their bond grew, so did the challenges they faced. Word of their relationship slowly began to spread throughout UA, leading to mixed reactions. Their friends were overwhelmingly supportive. Ochako teased Izumi endlessly about finally confessing her feelings, while Iida gave an earnest speech about balancing romance and hero duties. But not everyone understood. One day, in the middle of lunch, Bakugo stormed up to their table, glaring at Izumi. Oi, Deku, you're really wasting your time with that support freak. Izumi's fists clenched, but Mei beat her to it. She stood, her goggles pushed down over her eyes as she faced Bakugo head-on. Listen here, mister. Explosion pants, she said, her voice sharp. Midoriya isn't wasting her time with me. We're a team, and I'd like to see you find someone who cares about her half as much as I do. Bakugo scoffed, but there was a flicker of surprise in his eyes. TCH. Whatever. Just don't let her get distracted, she's got a long way to go before she's on my level. As Bakugo walked away, Izumi turned to Mei, her cheeks flushed. You didn't have to do that. Mei shrugged. Of course I did. No one talks down to my girlfriend. Izumi laughed, her heart swelling with affection. You're amazing, Mei. A moment of vulnerability. One evening, long after curfew, Izumi found herself unable to sleep. She wandered to Mei's workshop, knowing she'd find the inventor still awake. Sure enough, Mei was hunched over her workbench, tinkering with a new device. Mei, Izumi called softly, and Mei looked up, startled. Oh, hey, Midoriya. Couldn't sleep? Mei asked, setting down her tools. Izumi shook her head. No. Can I stay here for a while? Mei smiled. Of course. She gestured for Izumi to sit beside her. What's on your mind? Izumi hesitated before speaking. Sometimes, I wonder if I'm strong enough. If I can live up to All Might's legacy. Mei placed a hand on Izumi's, her voice gentle. Midoriya, you don't have to be All Might. You just have to be you. And honestly, you're already amazing. The world just hasn't seen it yet. Izumi felt tears welling up but smiled through them. Thank you, Mei. You always know what to say. Mei grinned. Well, I am a genius. She paused before adding, more softly, and I love you. Izumi froze, her heart skipping a beat. You love me. Mei nodded, her cheeks pink. Yeah, I do. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me, Midoriya. Izumi threw her arms around Mei, holding her tightly. "I love you too, Mei." In that quiet moment, surrounded by the hum of machinery and the glow of invention, they knew they'd found something truly special, a love that sparked brighter than any flame. The days turned into months, and Izumi and Mei's bond only grew stronger. Together, they were unstoppable, a perfect team that balanced one another in every way. Mei's gadgets made Izumi stronger and more efficient, while Izumi's unwavering kindness and determination gave Mei the courage to dream even bigger. Their love became the cornerstone of both their lives. But being a hero came with its risks, and the world they lived in was far from safe. A new villain group had risen, their powers more dangerous than anything UA had faced before. The League of Villains had teamed up with rogue scientists, creating devastating weapons that could neutralize even the strongest heroes. And one of their primary targets was Izumi Midoriya, the successor of One for All. The mission. It was supposed to be a simple reconnaissance mission. Izumi, along with a team of pro-heroes, was tasked with gathering intel on the villain's base. Mei had insisted on upgrading Izumi's support gear before the mission, adding reinforced armor and a failsafe system to the gloves. "Promise me you'll come back," Mei had said, her voice uncharacteristically serious as she adjusted Izumi's gear. Izumi smiled, cupping Mei's face. "I promise. I'll always come back to you." Mei tried to smile, but there was an unease in her heart that she couldn't shake. The battle. The mission quickly spiraled out of control. The villain's base was a trap, and Izumi found herself facing an overwhelming number of enemies. Despite her training and Mei's inventions, the odds were stacked against her. One of the villains unleashed a devastating energy wave, shattering the reinforced gloves Mei had worked so hard to perfect. The pain in Izumi's arms was excruciating, but she pushed forward, determined to protect her friends and fulfill her role as a hero. In the chaos, Izumi made the ultimate decision. The villains had set a destructive device to detonate, capable of wiping out the entire city. Izumi knew there was only one way to stop it. The sacrifice. Back at UA, Mei was in her workshop when the news came through on the emergency broadcast. Her hands trembled as she listened to the announcer's voice. The hero Deku has successfully neutralized the villain's device, saving countless lives. However, the voice broke, and Mei felt her world crumble. Izumi Midoriya sustained fatal injuries during the battle. She is gone. Mei's goggles fell from her hands, clattering to the floor. Her knees gave out, and she collapsed, tears streaming down her face. No, this can't be real. She promised she'd come back. Her mind replayed their last conversation, the way Izumi had smiled at her, the warmth of her touch. Mei screamed, the sound echoing through the empty workshop. The person who believed in her, who loved her for who she was gone. A final gift. A week later, Mei received a package in the mail. It was a small, unmarked box with Izumi's name written on the tag. Her hands shook as she opened it, revealing a letter and a small charm, a broken fragment of the gloves Mei had made, carefully preserved. The letter read, "My dearest Mei, if you're reading this, it means I couldn't keep my promise to come back. I'm so sorry for leaving you, but I want you to know that you gave me so much more than I ever deserved. You believed in me when I couldn't believe in myself, and you showed me that love is the most powerful force of all. Please don't stop inventing, don't stop dreaming. The world needs your brilliance, and I'll always be with you, cheering you on. I love you, Mei. Always. Yours, Izumi." Mei clutched the letter to her chest, sobbing uncontrollably. For days, she couldn't bring herself to step into her workshop, unable to face the reminders of the person she had lost. Moving forward. Months passed, and Mei slowly found her way back to her inventions. She dedicated every creation to Izumi, pouring her heart and soul into designing gadgets that would protect the heroes who fought to make the world a better place. Every time she worked late into the night, she imagined Izumi standing beside her, smiling that soft, encouraging smile. One evening, Mei looked out at the stars, clutching the broken glove charm in her hand. "I'll keep going, Izumi," she whispered. "For you. For us." And though her heart ached with loss, she felt a spark of warmth, a reminder that Izumi's love would always be with her, guiding her through the darkness. The end. And that's it for today's. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe to Fiction Flux for more awesome content. Don't forget to write your thoughts in the comments. Did you love this twist on Deku and Mei's relationship? Also, let us know what fanfiction you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.